Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Angelica. Welcome back to my channel. And whether you're new or returning, it's an honor to have you here. So today we have a reading. So let's get into it. Oh, let's do this. Let's say this before, let's preface everything before we get into it. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, right? It is up to you to discern and decipher what is for you and to what degree it is for you and to what degree it resonates. So use your discernment, use your intuition. These readings are only ever intended to bring you back to you, to affirm and validate your clarity. Remember that this is about you. It's not about me. Okay. And let's get into it. We'll add more as we need to. But my friend, it's an honor to have you here. And my intentions are nothing but the highest. May this serve you in the highest and best way. Okay. So the first card I got was closure. So whoever I'm talking to, you are, my friend, are at the precipice of closure. You are closing out massive cycles, karmic cycles, karmic threads. You may, I'm currently doing this. Well, originally it was the karmic thread series, and now it's just the thread series. This is where I help you to identify, properly identify the threads, the themes, the patterns that you're playing out so you can be empowered in releasing them, reconciling with them, working with them so that you can release and shift your behavior, your mindset, your emotions, everything. Okay. So that series is currently going on. We're about maybe 7 days in, and it's taken me a while because we're doing all the things. We're doing a lot of things over here. We're doing the readings, I'm doing vlogs, I'm doing so many things. So just kind of bear with me with that. But we're chugging right along. Back to the reading. For real this time. You are currently in a space of closing out massive cycles. This tells me, this looks like a moon here, this sphere. So we just had the new moon in Cancer. For whatever reason, this next full moon, and I'm not sure what that would be, what the next full moon is. And if you're watching this at any other time besides when I'm currently posting it, it's perfect. It's in divine timing. So just go with whatever next full moon it is. But the next full moon, it seems to be that there is a breaking away and unleashing. Now, this can be energetic. This can be in like physically relocating, moving. But there is, what I'm hearing is a surge of energy that is going to take place because you've been closing out. Now, we talk about closing out the things in this next full moon. However, what I'm feeling is that you've actually been closing out cycles for quite some time. Quite a few of you have been closing out massive cycles. I mean, soul cycles. Okay. And I'm not talking about the fucking the exercise. I mean literal soul cycles. Okay, this is what I'm hearing. You've been closing out soul cycles, and now there is a closure that's coming in. But see how she has her arms outspread? This says to me, welcome. Welcome, right? It says to me liberation and welcoming, receiving, receptivity all at once. So this kind of gives me a little bit of paradoxical energy, juxtaposition energy. It gives me this very two things happening simultaneously, liberation and closure. And she has her eyes closed, so there is a sense of reverence here, a sense of honoring, a sense of acknowledgement of the deeper lessons that you have integrated as soul curriculum, as soul cycle, as soul curriculum as you close out these soul cycles. Okay. And she's also wearing white. So that gives me this sense of purity, purification, of having purified so much from your system, and when I say system, I mean all of the systems at once, right? Energetic and physical, all of them together. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and all of the different bodies, all of the different systems that you can't see that are actually a part of and make up your you, you as a soul, as a being. So there's a closure coming out. And when I went to clarify this card, like, what are we doing? What's going on with this closure? Like, speak to me more. So Spirit's like, okay, well, it's so that you can actually step into being a leader. Okay. So you're actually closing out maybe cycles of visibility wounds. And this says to me clearly that this is coming through very specifically. No matter how long you have struggled or found difficulty with the thought, the idea, the concept of being seen as a leader, here's the thing, my friend, you're meant to be a leader. And all of the visibility wounds that you've had, you're closing those out at this time so you can step into being a leader. Full time. Full time. I keep hearing full time, full time. So you may have had some kind of visibility wounds. You still might feel like you have some visibility things or issues, or feel like I'm still working through it. I still struggle. That's okay. You're working through it. Keep working through it. Okay. You're still, just because you might still be working through some of the remnants, the echoes, like the residual energies of it, that doesn't mean that makes you less of a leader, my friend, because if the card is coming out, you're a leader. And I'm getting chills down my arms. So you're closing out these cycles of visibility wounds, of feeling like I can't just be myself and be seen without being misunderstood, without being attacked, without being betrayed, without being abandoned, or without being a target. Okay. It is safe for you. Even this white that she's wearing, it's also saying to me divinely protected. So no matter what, if you're watching this, my friend, you're divinely protected. Okay. Your spirit guides, source, your ascended ancestors are here, and all of them, plus more benevolent beings, are there in spirit, ensuring that the mission is complete. Okay. And ensuring that the mission is complete. That's all I'm hearing. With this, with you closing out these cycles, stepping into the leader that you're meant to become, guess what, my friend? You, this is giving me chills. You're meant to be I'm hearing master manifester. And I want to bring in this sense, I want to talk about manifestation for a minute, because Spirit's like, you need to talk about this. It's not manifesting in a way that we're asking for or calling in things that are irrelevant for us, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there in the manifestation community. No judgments, no shade, no anything like that. But I feel like I always tune into the distortion around certain things, right? Twin flames, I can feel all of the distortion because I've personally went through it. Same with the same with manifestation. There's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of distortion that happens because of the programming that we have, the indoctrination, this different mindsets, and just different ways that we perceive or even distort that information. You don't have to manifest anything. You are naturally creating it. The thing I feel like the manifestation community has gone into of this thing of like forcing irrelevant events, manifestations, right? Things, whatever in whatever form, manifesting irrelevant forms of manifestations that don't actually serve your highest good. They're serving the ego. Okay? So it's about coming back to the heart, right? See, his heart is lit up. The heart is what actually leads. The mind follows. Okay? The mind is meant to follow the heart, not the other way around. This is how it's coming through. And so you don't actually have to think about manifesting anything. You don't have to, if it's not already naturally inspired and like that inspiration is like dropping in, you don't have to think your way into how am I going to manifest this. The how is not your realm, it's not your responsibility. That's source, right? That's your guides. They figure out the how. Source figures out the how. You just need to you just need to put in the work, okay? And you just need to put in the work, okay? You just need to put in the work. However, as you're putting in the work, you have to be aware of any energetic leakages, okay? Ways in which you are using your precious focus and attention, because focus and your attention is currency, right? It's the real currency. Money is something that reflects that currency, right? But your focus and your attention is really what they are vying for, right? Why do you think they spend millions and millions of dollars to do research on like how to psychologically bring someone in, pull someone in, make things taste better so that, it messes, not even necessarily, it triggers the brain. Oh my God, I want some more. It triggers addiction. It triggers, right? So your focus, there's a reason why there's millions and millions of dollars spent every year to grab your focus, to grab your attention, because it's fucking currency. And it's the most, I'm hearing, potent currency. And when you know how to carefully and with intention direct your focus, you're not leaking energy. However, there are places that I'm seeing, there are places that, watch out where you may be leaking energy, right? Giving your power away, getting into arguments, little spats, little things, giving away your peace, giving away your power. Watch out for how you might be leaking energy. Another way you may be leaking energy is through consuming too much content and not creating enough. Okay? That's how we can leak our energy. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I love this. I love this thing. I love this thing. I love this thing. But like, what are you creating for yourself? So in too much consumption, we're also leaking our energy because we're not actually creating. We're not actually generating. There's a generative life force that I'm hearing. I'm hearing generative life force that generates as we create. So we actually generate life force as we are creating. And so if you're just consuming, 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 you're taking without giving back, without radiating your own light and giving something to the world. So, and it's funny because look at this little bud, right? Same exact shape, the little flame. The bud and the flame are what stick out to me. Okay? That is representative, right? That's the flame. If you're putting this work in yourself, your projects, your dreams, what lights you up, your joy, right? That's also of service. That is that spark. That is that little flame. And see here how that flame gets leaked out? Okay? Bring the energy back to you. What is your joy? What do you want to create? What is it that you are here to give, to create, to birth into this realm for people to enjoy, not to just consume, but that it helps them, right? That it lifts them up, it empowers them, it inspires them. Whatever your medicine is, you got to make sure that you're cultivating your medicine and you're not leaking your medicine, okay? All right, next one. Because, and I will tell you this, did I not? That's interesting. Okay, because here's the thing. You got to watch where your energy it might be leaking because we have opposition coming in here. Okay, when opposition comes in, what did I say? Sometimes, like, don't get caught up in the arguments, the bickering, the little spats, because that's a way of leaking your energy. So, opposition is coming in. It almost reminds me of yin and yang, yin and yang. Okay. Um, this opposition is coming in to help you progress. And I was actually called to read in the book what the description was, what it came with. And this is about being open-minded and not being overly self-protective, overly defensive if there is opposition coming at you, right? Coming towards you, or you're meeting opposition. This is about having an open mind to consider their point of view, right? Consider what what are their needs? What might they fear in you? These types of questions, right? And being able to be more curious and seeking to understand more than it is to fight and to bicker and to argue, okay? Because then we get into leaky energy, all right? And with that opposition, when you start getting into your ego, and I'm going to defend myself and I'm going to be protective of myself from a place of we start to leak our energy. It's no longer empowering because there is some times where we need to stand up for ourselves, right? And say the thing, say the uncomfortable thing, say the awkward thing, get clarity, ask for clarity, right? Or if we've been holding in our truth, we need to say the thing, right? We're not talking about that. That's a different context, and I want to make that perfectly clear. But there are other times when we can get into opposing someone simply because they might be perceivably coming at us, attacking us. So we feel like we need to be self-protective, defensive, okay? And again, we get into the energy leakage, but we also get into a place where you just are inauthentic with who you are. You've become out of alignment, misaligned in your responses, misaligned in your action, maybe how you communicate, okay? to that energy. And this can leave you feeling isolated, okay? Especially if you're a woman, can leave you feeling isolated from sisterhood, that girlfriend having girlfriends to just doing the girl thing, right? Doing the, and not necessarily girl thing, but connecting with another divine feminine, right? Being funny, silly, goofy, whatever it is, but connecting in that space, interacting in that space, and feeling cut off from that space because we've gotten into opposing and argumentativeness, and then we're inauthentic. And so we begin to isolate ourselves and cut people off or feel isolated or push people away, right? Just feeling unhappy, right? And isolated. Okay. Focus on you. Focus on your gifts. Focus on what brings you joy. Okay? Stop giving energy to other people, energies, projects, communicating in ways that are destructive and that are, frankly, at this point, irrelevant to your soul mission. You gotta, there's something here about getting the ego on board, or at the very least, recognizing when the ego is trying to be overly protective or overly self-defensive, and saying, hey, I recognize you. I recognize this. My ego is doing the thing. Okay, hi, ego. I got you. I see you. I see what you're doing. I see that you're doing the thing again. Don't worry. I got this. I got this. You're safe. I know you don't feel safe, but you're safe. And I'm going to send you love. And I'm going to reassure myself and my ego, my inner child, or whatever other parts that you need to reassure them, I got this. We're good. We're capable. Okay. But focus your energy on your projects, your joy, your whatever lights you up. That's where that energy needs to go. Stop leaking it out. Stop entertaining conversations or interactions or communications or whatever that's draining, that doesn't feel misaligned, or even just people that you don't resonate with anymore. Cut it off. Now is not the time to keep entertaining these like little bugs, right? These gnats that you just want to shoo away. Just shoo them away and leave them. Okay? Stop entertaining it. Okay? Stop leaking your energy. Okay? And then, wait, where did we go? Where did we go with this? Okay, I just want to check one thing because 7. Yeah, so, oh, okay, here it is. So we also got the Chariot in reverse, and this is saying focus on one thing. There might be too many projects, too many tabs open. Whittle it down. Excuse me, confirmation verb. Whittle it down. What is the most joyous thing that you can do? Maybe you have too many projects open, and you're, and then if you have too many projects open, you can run the risk of not finishing any of them, right? And so if you have a pattern of starting something and not completing the things, this is where you could be, let's just say, be more mindful of finishing what you start. It's imperative, it's important at this time. You need to finish what you start, because, my friend, you are in a cosmic, wow, I'm hearing cosmic gateway, and we're already connecting into like getting ready and gearing up for the Lionsgate portal. But yeah, so there's energies already coming in around that. But like there is, you're clearing out karma. You're clearing out like energies that you've been entangled with for a very, very long time. And I'm talking about lifetimes here. I'm not talking about one or two or even 10. I'm talking about even 10 or more lifetimes is kind of what I want to say. But again, take what resonates for you. At this time, because we're in this cosmic closure, you know, you're closing out very significant patterns, again, soul patterns. So be mindful of where you're not finishing something. Okay, you want to close and finish the projects that you might have open, the tabs that you might have open at this time. And what that's going to help you do is it's going to help you close out these energies, because part of what's coming in with this cycle is the act of starting things and not finishing them. Okay. The Chariot in reverse is telling me, like, no, you need to make sure you finish these things at this time. Okay. Be mindful where, okay, for some of you, I'm hearing to ask you, and this is a question for your own self, is where have I started a project, started a book, started a whatever it is, and I haven't finished it? Where have I started a relationship? Where have I started a book, even a show? Like, it's just about recognizing the pattern at this point. Pattern recognition. Okay. Once we recognize the pattern, you're going to start seeing it pop up. But it's really just asking, where have I done this? Where have I started something and not finished something? Because it's important for you to finish everything that you start at this time. There's just greater, let's just call it greater cosmic support helping you finish these things at this time. So gather all of your strength, all of your will, all of your motivation, your determination, your persistence, your chutzpah, your freaking everything that you can, my friend. Your tenacity, every little bit of it that you can to finish the projects that you have open, the tabs that you have open right now. Okay. At the bottom, at the bottom of the deck, we got the Emperor. That says to me, at this time, closing these patterns out, closing these themes, these threads, stepping forward into leadership, manifesting the life of your dreams, making sure, taking care of any energy leakages, and just focusing on what you're inspired to bring in and birth and create in the world right now. Remembering that there is a divine place for opposition. Opposition helps us become more aware. It allows us to be more authentic with ourselves. It also allows us to be more honest. And the word that's coming through here, and I don't like it, is brutally honest, because I don't feel like we need to be brutal with ourselves. I've been brutal with myself my whole life, so I'm like, I don't like that word. But my friend, please take it as it resonates. Really, it's really just it's really more about the sense of it, the energy behind it. It's just being like 100% raw, honest, truthful with yourself. And even that can be hard. But if you're here, I feel like you are someone and you're in a place where you're like ready and willing to just, let's just be honest. Let's cut out all the bullshit. Let's put let's clear out the table and put everything on the table so I can see everything and I don't have to bullshit myself, and I can just be like a straight shooter or a sharp shooter, like focused, right? And I don't need to tell myself stories or be in denial or in some kind of fantasy or overly delulu that that puts me in a misaligned place. Okay, you are meant to be the fucking emperor. You're building an empire here. This is what this says to me. Okay, this is what this says to me. Ha! And below that, the Fool. New journey, right? New fucking journey. Below that, the Hermit. And this says to me just shining your light, right? Being guided by your own light. Wow. And then we have the Moon, right? Intuition. And there is that Moon again, bringing us full circle. The next new moon. Okay. And do I have it? Let's see. While I have you here, my friend, let's see. Full moon is on the 29th, and that is in Aquarius, right? I'm fairly sure it's going to be Aquarius and not Capricorn, because on my little app here, it doesn't really always tell you. And sometimes you have to guess. It's between a sign. So I want to say the next full moon is the full moon in Aquarius. It's either Capricorn or Aquarius. I don't know. But it's one of those two. And again, even if you're watching this, months after I've originally filmed it or years after I've originally filmed it, it doesn't matter. It's just the next full moon. There seems to be this next full moon. There is, it's very interesting because we have, you see them howling, I think it's a wolf and a dog. This is also saying back to your wild nature, more acceptance of your true nature, okay? And that could be more wild nature. But the moon, there's something about here that says like liberation and celebration. Like they're like, woo, like, yeah, I've done it. And she's doing the same thing over here. Yes, I've done it. Liberation. I've liberated myself. Okay. Now, okay. And there's definitely, we have night sky and stars here as well. And that's also saying to me, there are facets of your unconscious that are being liberated at this time. And it's part of this cosmic cycle, this cosmic closure. Cosmic cycle closure, cosmic closure cycle, there's something there. It's we're talking about millennia. We're not talking about like a year cycle. We're talking about eons and eons of karma, eons and eons of trauma, of lives that you've had that have had this dense energy following it, right? And you're here to clear all of that. You're here at this time to clear all of that. And how do you know that? Well, if you didn't already know that, allow this to be your permission slip so that you can have confirmation. Okay? I'll be your permission slip. It's time. It's time. It's time. Trust me. Trust. And not, if you don't trust me, trust yourself. Because really, I would rather you trust yourself. I'd rather you trust yourself over me any day, because then you know how you work, right? You got to trust yourself. But my friend, there's some beautiful energies coming up here. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. The interesting, and I don't know why this is coming through, but bottom of the deck, we have taking a loss. Just as nature moves through cycles, we're talking about cycles, right? And we're talking about nature, so do you. When financial or emotional loss occurs, step back and see the full picture. This is just a passing storm in a lifetime of unfolding abundance. Okay? There's something about catastrophic thinking and very destructive type of thinking like that. Stay away from that, my friend. You can take a loss, right, without it being the end of the fucking world, or without it being a devastation to you, your character, who you are, or that it means somehow you failed and that somehow you're identifying as a failure, or you're identifying as, you know, as the person who loses, or as the person who doesn't have abundance. Okay, you can you can have losses in life without being a loser. Okay, I'm going to say it very bluntly like that because I feel like someone needs to hear it. You're not a loser just because you take losses. A loss, wins and loses, or wins and losses, loses, what? Wins and losses are a part of life. They're a part of the structure of the fabric of reality. You win some, you lose some, right? That doesn't mean that you are a loser. And that doesn't mean that because you take a loss, that, you're pathetic or you're a loser or you're whatever you're saying in your mind. Okay? Disconnect whatever narrative or story, that emotional story that you have, from the simple feedback that is life, because life is not giving you, oh, you're you're worthy because of this, you're unworthy because of that. No. Okay, you're always worthy. Okay, and you're a freaking amazing creative genius. However, creative geniuses take losses in life too. Okay? It's very simple. It's not personal. Okay? Stop taking things so personally. That's that ego. Okay? That's that ego. That's interesting. We have restriction over here on the bottom of the deck. Okay? We have restriction here too, which we have a flower and a flower. Okay? This restriction, let's see, do I have my book here? Ooh. The joy guides are tapping at your mind's closed door, hoping to open it and free you of negative thinking that may be trapping you in the dark. Don't assume you already know what will unfold or people will think or do. These assumptions are inaccurate. If you are not careful, this preconceived mindset will blind you to all of your options and helpers in the physical world, leading to a dead end. Okay, so it's almost like the restriction of the mind. Okay, what I was saying over here, you can take a loss without being a loser. Okay, someone needs to hear that, because when you identify and take things personally, when it's simply feedback and information, so that you can like take that and shift, pivot, right? Change some things. When you overly identify as I'm the unlucky one, I'm the failure, I'm the one that's always going to be struggling, right? I'm a survivor, or whatever it is. Keep in mind that as positive as you might be trying to be, that could be restrictive. You could actually be just restricting yourself. Okay? You got to be very, very mindful and thoughtful and aware, because one, in the same way that you can free yourself with a concept, an idea, that same concept or idea in another setting, or in another context, can become a box, can become a trap. Okay? And so I'm saying this to illuminate that it's all in how you perceive it. It's all in the mind. So are you growing flowers in the mind, or are you growing weeds? Okay? That's what we're saying here, my friend. There is one more deck that I wanted to get from. I wanted to get a couple of angel numbers. So what are the lucky numbers, or the numbers that are coming through for this collective? What are the numbers? I did, but it's okay. They'll pop back out. Ooh, 0909, new beginnings. Okay, we had the Fool pop out. We had the Closure card. So definitely opportunity, courage, achievement, endings, new beginnings, adventure, and love. This is actually giving me, which is funny, it's 0909, but this is giving me Lionsgate portal. This is also giving me Leo season. Okay, so it feels like during Leo season, I feel like some things are going to really start moving if they haven't already. Keep out for an keep an eye out for an opportunity that could change everything. You are completing something significant. That's giving me goosebumps again, right? We said the Closure card. You are completing something significant, and it's rewarding to see yourself level up. It's time to close an old chapter, right? And embrace a new one. Embrace a new adventure that's about to unfold. Doesn't she look like she's about to go on a new adventure? That's dope. All right. 0909. So I'm getting Leo season. Feels like Leo season is going to add some fire. The exact kind of fire that you need, my friends. 2424. Relaxation, joy, harmony, love, kindness, happiness, support, and unity. You are deserving of affection, relaxation, and joy. Open up to your family and friends about your feelings, and you'll find everyone aligned and working together harmoniously. Many people are cheering for you. When you spread love, it returns to you multiplied. I feel like there's one more. Oh, 1 second. Let's see. Let's catch the vibe. What's the vibe? Let's catch the vibe. I was like, I was gonna pull another angel card, and I was like, no, let's catch a vibe because there's something. Is this underneath? Ooh, ooh. Okay, my friend, you can't make this shit up. Okay, what's underneath? Narcissist. Okay, and then we got egotistical, opportunist, and fragile, like fragile egos. So, or egos, this is that golden egg. So, underneath, watch for any kind of, and I'm talking about you, not necessarily in, okay, wait. No, this is all around. Okay. Watch for, keep an eye out for, be mindful for when you might be exhibiting or displaying those narcissistic qualities. Now, narcissistic qualities aren't all bad. And here's why I say that, because they can give us awareness into where we might be giving our power away. Okay. The empath needs the narcissist's medicine just as much as the narcissist needs the empath's medicine. Okay. So take note, be mindful of when you might be, it's like you, when you might be getting in your ego, overly defensive, overly protective. In those spaces, my friend, take a time out. Maybe don't, if you're getting into an argument, maybe don't reply. Step back, take a beat, right? You can always circle back, but I feel like you want to be very, very extra mindful when you might be getting into an egotistical place or a narcissistic place when we start bypassing or going into denial, right? Those narcissistic qualities, where when we start to be more self-important and self-aggrandizing than what is actually authentic, right? It starts to bring us into a place of inauthenticity, okay? Where you're not actually being your authentic expression, okay? It's the ego flaring up and creating all of these stories that's like, no, I need to be right. You know, the ego always needs to be right. So be careful, be mindful in spaces, in places, in interactions, and any other opportunities or whatever where you might be overly self-protective or self-defending, okay? Because that's probably, you got to do a self-check and only you can tell, but it can be your ego acting up, okay? So remember that opposition card, take a step back, be open to the opposition's needs, the opposition's fears. Start to get curious and understand, seek to understand more than you seek to be right. Okay? And that's where I'm going to leave it. That's where I'm going to leave it. That's perfect. That's perfect, my friends. Let's see. I was going to like give you a, I was going to give you I was going to show you the cards, but at this point, they all doing the thing. It's time. I will snap up. Yeah, the vibe. Yeah, watch out for those narcissistic vibes, you know, my friends. Whether it's people around you or whether it's you yourself, be mindful of when it's playing out. And if you see other people playing that narcissistic energy out, that egotistical energy, I need to remind you of this, babe. Okay, remember of those energy leaks. Don't leak your energy. Focus back on you. Focus back on your projects because, girl, you got to finish those projects. Okay, and that's important. Those people, those irritants, those things that that are just wanting to annoy you, don't give it your energy. Okay, you're going to seal those energy leaks simply by working on your own projects, manifesting your own joy, and simply just being in your own joy is what I mean by manifesting it. I don't know why that came out like that. It's very interesting. Big cycle of completion. Here's the other part. Be thoughtful, caring, gentle, and nourishing to yourself at this time, because your own ego, like we're all in such a transitionary time. I feel like everyone's ego is kind of on edge, you know, and all it takes at this point is a little, it doesn't even need to be a big trigger. It could be a little boop, a little tink of a trigger. And we're, you know, wanting to protect ourselves and defend ourselves and say all of the things. So just be mindful, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others. And if you do get into that opposing energy, as you come back to yourself, you know, take that feedback, right? You might have to circle back to that interaction or that event or that person or that thing in order to express something more authentically rather than being inauthentic. Okay. So that's where I'm going to leave it, my friends. I hope this served you in the highest and best way. Remember, take everything with a grain of salt. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, all the things. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. And yeah, we're going to do the thing. Look out for more readings and more videos, vlogs, all kinds of things. I got all kinds of medicine that is coming down the inspirational pipes, as it were. So stay tuned. And from my universe to yours, may blessings and blessings find you on your path always. I love you.